Now some brand quickies as Mags on Media continues. First National Bank has been ordered to withdraw its Steve campaign as the Advertising Standards Authority claims it's harmful to children and insulting to anyone with the name Steve. A more stupid decision I have never come across in local advertising, and you can go to our Facebook page for my views on this particular controversy. And do you remember the Feed a Child campaign where a black boy was compared to a dog being fed by a white woman? Well, it's just won itself something called the Rusty Radiator Award for stereotyping South Africa's poor at an event in Oslo. And YouTube has just released its much-anticipated Year in Rewind video featuring parodies of 2014's most talked-about videos, films, ads and pop culture phenomenons. You can see the full video on our Facebook page.
Turn down for what?
We're not gonna start slow.
Who that?
And we're always gonna finish fast.
Let's take a selfie. Do not put that on the internet. I'm bringing booty back.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, or you can take a break.
Yeah, my mama, she told me don't worry about your size. She says boys like a little more booty to hold, and I enjoy it's perfect from the bottom to the top.
Talking this and that. Don't hold back. Here's why.
Come on, now make it stop.
Right, let's stay with advertising, and advertising in the financial services sector, I would suggest to you, is a tough job, and unless you differentiate radically, the output all has a touch of vanilla, doesn't it? In other words, it all looks and sounds pretty much the same. Well, as we're going to find out now, the insurance company Hollard has grappled with that particular issue and thinks it's broken through with a big rebrand and also a new television campaign. Nontokozo Madonsela is with us, head of brand communication. I'm very nervous about interviewing someone called Madonsela. You're not going to investigate the program, are you?
It depends.
It depends.
Let's see how this goes.
Do you agree with that point, that so much financial advertising is dull?
Yeah, so I completely agree, and I think the challenge is that ultimately all the financial services brands are offering the same products. We're all selling the same stuff. And most of what we sell...
And it's often stuff we don't want either.
People don't want to buy it. You know, it's like you get excited to go buy a bottle of wine or a new bag or, you know, even your house. But to buy insurance or to buy banking services isn't exciting. And so it becomes quite difficult and challenging to make sure that our communication is engaging, our communication is interesting, and actually that it derives the reaction we want from our target audience.
You've got the campaign thread now, something called Difficult Conversations.
Yes.
What was the strategic thinking behind that?
We wanted to reintroduce Hollard to the South African audience, and we wanted to make sure that our brand is known as doing more than funeral. As you know, we do home, we do car, we do investments and commercial insurance and life insurance as well. And the script lended itself in a way that it actually just made quite a difficult conversation about what happens when your loved one dies, or, you know, and that's quite a difficult conversation to have. And we kind of brought in the humor and the quirkiness and the lightness to something that's quite sad and difficult to talk about.
Ooh, I can feel him. He's here. You may speak, my dear.
Vusi? Vusi, can you hear me? Vusi, you left us with nothing! No more ballet for Togo, and no more piano for Sipho. And where are we supposed to stay now? In a caravan?
Bit of risk attached to that, though.
Completely. We did some research, we consulted a few people, and we wanted to make sure that at the core of the message that we can be able to transfer that, and that the humour around it and all the things we dramatize around it doesn't take away from the message. And we got confirmation from our different stakeholders and audiences that we're on the right track.
I think you've got it right, because in a multicultural society, you know, what is funny to one person is not funny to another.
Yeah.
So you had to find that overarching kind of homogenous approach to it, didn't you?
Yeah, we had to. And I think that our creative agency, MNC Such Able, did a fantastic job with our director in how we casted the performers that we used, and we had to make sure that the script had the right balance of delivering product information, delivering brand information, and holding all of that within the Hollard tone, which is quite quirky.
All right, let's talk about the rebrand itself now.
Yeah.
Purple. What's prompted it? What have you done in terms of changing the CSI?
Our CSI had gotten a little dated, it had gotten a little old.
How did you know that?
We did research, and we also got strong feedback from our stakeholders and from our exco as well. Through that process, we worked with our CI design agency, and we landed in the CI that you see right now showing on the screens.
What's different?
What's different is it's slightly modern. We've actually quite embraced in a bold way our purple. Because of the business that we're in, there is a lot of usage of the word, you know, you're writing, insurance, etc. And that comes across because it appears as though it's handwritten. And also we've kind of embraced other colours that could be used as secondary colours to our CI, and that is the orange. We've used some gold that really talk to how the warmth of the brand and the warmth of the organisation Hollard.
It is a lot more complicated than one thinks to actually accomplish something like that. And Nontokoza Modern Seller, thank you very much for joining us. Coming up, a unique platform that's uniting poets across the African continent, and a luxury clothing brand worn by all kinds of royalty arrives in South Africa.